Ever had one of those days where tinnitus wouldn't let you focus on anything you're trying to do during the day and then would interrupt your sleep during the night? Is tinnitus affecting your professional life, your social life, maybe even your family life? My name is Guy. I've been suffering from severe tinnitus and hearing loss for over 10 years now. In this video, I will tell you about my journey through tinnitus and hearing loss, how it motivated me to create this channel, and most important, why you care and how it can help you. So about 15 years ago, I started to notice that something is really wrong with my hearing. I used to talk to my kids and our conversation would turn into, "What did you say? Can you repeat that again?" Until they finally gave up and just said, "Never mind." And if you've been there, you know that this is very, very frustrating. As a teenager, I listened to music too loud. I went to a lot of rock concerts. I would listen to music through headphones all the time. But here is the interesting thing. I don't think that definitely didn't help. But I think in my case, the biggest contributor to my hearing loss was something completely different. It was riding motorcycles. Ever since I was 16, I was riding motorcycles. And I rode them all the time. And in my mid 20s, I started to ride really fast road motorcycles. And I mean really fast. I always, and I mean always, had a full helmet closed while I was riding the motorcycles. And I was thinking that the full helmet is protecting me from the wind, from the engine sound, and everything around me. But I was wrong. The wind noise can be so strong going through the helmet next to your ear that it creates very bad hearing damage. It can exceed 120 decibels, and that is more than enough to create hearing damage. But I just didn't know, I wasn't aware that the wind noise can be so damaging to my hearing. And I want you to know that as soon as I found out about this, and this was in the recent years, so in the recent years, I started to do a lot of research about tinnitus and hearing loss and why I'm suffering from this so badly. And I found out that motorcycles and the wind noise specifically is probably the biggest contributor to my hearing loss. In my case, I wanted to share this information with as many people as I can to prevent other people from having this hearing damage and from suffering so badly from tinnitus and hearing loss. Around 10 years ago, with the support of my dear wife, I started using hearing aids. And now back then, hearing aids were pretty basic. They didn't have all the advancements that we have in hearing aids these days, but they were still making a huge difference, right? They were still amplifying all the sounds that I couldn't hear and helping me communicate with my family. As for tinnitus, it was there and it was loud and clear, and it was starting to really interrupt with my focus. It was interrupted with my sleep. If I woke up in the middle of the night for any reason, falling back to sleep was extremely hard with the tinnitus just blaring in my ears. I'm an analytical person. I spent most of my life in software engineering, developing applications for different industries. And around 12 or more years, I spent specifically in healthcare, the healthcare industry, developing different applications for physicians, for nurses and administrators, for clinics and hospitals. Those years left me with a lot of knowledge around healthcare in general and some good connections in the healthcare industry. At this point, I started to spend a lot of time doing research about hearing health, tinnitus, hearing aids. I started basically my battle to gain back control of my life. To this day, there are still challenges that I still can't completely resolve with all the technology and with all the advancement. On the tinnitus side, this includes tinnitus impact on our life, our ability to focus, our ability to sleep well, our ability to stay calm when tinnitus levels are changing. On the hearing aid side, if you have severe hearing loss like myself, having a meaningful conversation in noisy environment, despite all the advancements that hearing aids companies and technology are making, is still a challenge. 2003 was just not a good year for me. My family and I were challenged by health issues of other family members, by financial difficulties and other challenges. 2003 was the year where tinnitus just went to the roof from all this stress. It was the first time that I felt that I can't control tinnitus by myself. Until now, I was kind of ignoring it and doing different things. I started to research, different sound therapies and other tools, but the stress was just getting to me. I was becoming irritable. I was becoming anxious. I was just not having a good year. This is when I found the American Tinnitus Association. I knew they exist. I knew about them vaguely, but I had no idea what they do or what they offer. I reached out with an email to a general email address, not expecting too much of a return, and I asked a few questions. The response took me by surprise. The response I got was basically offering me some resources and to speak over the phone. I was really feeling that I'm losing the battle to tinnitus for the first time, and I felt like speaking to someone is really what I needed at that moment. So Jay and I spoke over the phone for a long time. She went through a lot of resources and she offered tons of support and tons of understanding. The kind of understanding and support that I never received before. So here's a high-level list of those resources that the ATA is offering. I'm just going to run through them quickly here, but I'm going to also include everything in the description of the video. First of all, they offer general guidance on how to fight negative, unhelpful thoughts. As you may know by now, most of the battle against tinnitus is in your brain. It's really a fight against what you perceive and a fight against the tinnitus just weighing on you and making you really kind of go crazy, from stress and from hearing that noise all the time. So the first thing that they offer is a guidance and resources on how to avoid getting into that negative loop. That's the first thing. The second thing, there's a mobile app that everyone can use for free, and I believe it's available for Android and iPhone, and that app will offer a lot of good resources. Now, I believe it does have some paid components, but you have no obligation to purchase anything or pay for anything. You can just use the free resources of these apps. The next thing is one-on-one conversations, just like I had with Jay. If tinnitus is really weighing on you and stressing you, I think that a conversation with someone that knows exactly what you feel is going to be helpful. That is just my opinion. The next thing, they have support groups. They actually have support groups that you can attend either virtually or actually physically. Go to a physical support group, and you can speak to other people that again are going through the same challenges that you are going through as well. Lastly, they have a lot of online programs, books, and other resources to guide you through tinnitus challenges and then how to get out of this fight on the winning side. Needless to say that the ATA is offering real effective resources, and I want you to know that the purpose and the goal of this video is exactly to share this information with you. I mean, I want you to understand my background, and I want you to understand that I'm going through all these challenges just like you. But sharing all those resources, just like I did with other videos about different issues around tinnitus and hearing loss, is the goal of this video. After discovering what the ATA had to offer, I had a couple of more sessions with ATA advisors. One of the advisors offered me the following advice, and I would just like to read it to you. She said, "Part of living well with any challenge is understanding who you can speak with about what, so that the conversation is helpful, uplifting, and affirming as opposed to depleting, which can inadvertently make us feel alone. People in our life can love us deeply, yet lack the understanding of a challenge. Hence, having a network of people you can reach out to because they share your experience can be remarkably helpful." I couldn't agree more, and I believe it's true for many of us. Connecting with people that are going through the same challenges as we do is just priceless. I have included all the information you need to connect with the ATA in the description below. If tinnitus is a serious problem in your life, if it's something that affects your focus, if it affects your communication with other people, if it affects your sleep, I really encourage you to contact the ATA. There is no reason for you to go through all these challenges alone. And by the way, I'm really happy to answer any questions you have about my experience with the ATA, any questions you have about hearing loss or tinnitus. Please use the comments below and let's communicate over there. So now you know more about me, you know about the ATA, you know about the challenges I was facing. Because of my own hearing loss, my own tinnitus, and because of my heavy accent, I tried the faceless approach first. And now I understand that it's not helpful because it feels detached from a person. So going forward, I'm going to be focused on this approach. I'm going to be sharing with you the same high quality content. I'm going to bring to you all the latest news, updates, research, and I'm going to be sharing it this way. Let's keep the communication going. Again, ask me any question you want in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.